Hello everyone, welcome back to Vismo Technologies. This is Mallikarjun here. Here I'm with a quick demonstration on how you can create a RAC database using a DBCA simple GUI tool. And again, there are many options to create database using a DBCA in silent mode, using run installer in silent mode, using SQL command line to create database. But here I'm going to demonstrate it one of the simplest and easiest way with the help of a DBCA tool using a GUI screen, how you can create your RAC database. So considering the assumption that you already set up a RAC cluster, so I have this Oracle Lab 1, Oracle Lab 2, two node RAC cluster. I can take a look on that. Already I have this plus ASM1 and DevDB instance 1. One of the database is created here. And on the second node also, I have plus ASM2 and then a DevDB instance 2 is created over here. It's a two node rack. I can quickly show you that by running OLS nodes. I'll set the environment to plus ASM1, verify the environmental variable, env grep capital vara. So environmental variables are set to GI home. I can simply run OLS nodes. So it says Oracle Lab 1 and Oracle Lab 2. It's a two node rack cluster. All right, fair enough. So we have plus ASM1 running on node 1, that's Oracle Lab 1, plus ASM2 running on node 2, that's Oracle Lab 2. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and create database called dev database with the dev instance 1 and dev instance 2 on this two node rack cluster. So for that, I'll navigate to my GUI screen, one of the node like Oracle Lab 1, one of the node. I'm at Oracle user. I'm inside that one of the node. That's a node 1, Oracle Lab 1. I'm already inside my Oracle home bin location, user on app, Oracle product 19C DB home 1 and bin. This is the Oracle RAC, Oracle Home installed on both the RAC cluster nodes. So in here we have a tool or utility called DBCA, Database Configuration Assistance. I can go ahead and run that /DBCA. That's going to launch the a GUI screen. So this GUI screen is the easiest way or the simplest way where you can create a database, whether it's a standalone database, whether it's a RAC database, whether it's a CDB, PDB, multi-tenant database, doesn't matter. The GUI tool will be the GUI tool will be the very simplest and easiest way to create a database rather than all the silent option, command line, and manual SQL method to create a database. So a lot of manual work. So, but GUI is the best option by running this DBCA. All right, I'll choose this create database option. Go next. And again, we have two options. One is a typical configuration, other one is the advanced configuration. Once you go with the advanced configuration, where you need to like this is the advanced configuration, you need to fill all the details, the storage and your SGA, PGA, and your shared server mode, dedicated server mode, and your control file, your arclog file, arclog location, arclog size, FRA size, and lot of things. You have to manually keep entering all those details. So other than that, if we go with this a typical option, you can just give name of the database. It's a dev as a database name and what storage you want it, a file system or ASM. I want to create it under ASM. It's a two node rack with the ASM file system. And my data file has to go into data disk group and my FRA arclog has to go under the Rico arclog and control file and redo log and flashback logs all will go under this FRA. And my database character set AL30 to UTF-8, that's a universally accepted supported character sets. I'll go with that. And my admin password, the sys admin user password. I'll provide my sys admin user password. And then do you want to create it as a container database or the normal database? I'll go with the normal database. So if you fill up this typical option and then give only these many options, fill up and go with the next, automatically all these pre-checks will be ignored. Oracle will assign all this as a default. Your Oracle SID, your storage, your fast record area, your database options, configuration option, management option, user credentials, all these options will be ignored. Oracle will assign default settings and then you're going to proceed with the database instance. Later you can do whatever customization you want it once the database is created. So that's the best option. I can always go with the typical option and then go with the next. So all these options will be now ignored. If you observe here, all these steps will be ignored. Directly you're going to go into summary page. And you can see directly it is going to summary page now. All those options are vanished. right? It's doing now pre-checks, performing all the RAC, Oracle, home, connectivity check, your VIPs, scan IPs, and all those checks it want to do, and then proceed with your database creation. And it's looking all the kernel parameters, SHMax, SHMin, packages, CRS integrity, time zone, scan, DNS, all those pre-checks. Again, you have taken care as part of your cluster installation, all those scan, VIP, DNS, and time zone, all those things will be taken care as part of your installation, rack, cluster, or the GI installation. All right, so now it is given a summary here. If you see global setting, your database name, your node list, two nodes, rack database, and your storage type, memory configuration, automatic shared memory management, and your installation parameter, all are taken into it's a default Oracle's default and standard configuration that's taken here. If you want, you can save the response file. Right, I'll go with the dbca.rsp and then I'll proceed with the installation. Right, it says your DBCA, the installation log will be under user one app, save the tool, DBCA, and then trace. So I can take a look here. User one app, Oracle, CFG tools, DBCA, and then dev database. And inside that, you will be having that respective trace file, tail-f. You can see all the database creation, like dev instance one and dev instance two. That's what it is creating now. So that's for the DBCA log file. At the same time, you can see your database alert log. It will be under user one app, Oracle, Diag, or DBMS dev. Dev as a DB unique name and dev one, that's instance name, trace, and alert underscore dev one dot log. If I go into that log here, user one app, Oracle, Diag, RDBMS, and your database unique name dev, your instance name dev1, and the trace. There you can see your alert dev1.log. You can tell the alert log as well. That also will give more details what's happening here. And it is using this data disk group and creating all the data files inside that because that's options what we chosen. All right, so it's going on here. If you can click on this details here, it's gonna preparing DB operations, prepare DB operations succeeded, copying data files, which is in progress. So now if you see here, all the data files here under the data disk group, copy, data, dev, data file, system data files, which is getting created under this data disk group. So I can go to second node. I can quickly navigate to that ASM storage, su oracle dot orinv plus asm2 asm cmd hyphen p. So you can do ls hyphen l. You can have data disk group C, OCR, and require go into data. So we have this dev. We have dev db, dev cdb. I'll go into this dev, and then inside that we have this data files, all the data file systems, sysocs, undo, users, all the data files which is getting created here. All right, let's go back to GUI screen here. It's now 35% and creating and starting Oracle instance, which is in progress now. All right, so now we can see a lot of operations are happening on the alert log here, database alert log. Now what I'll do, I'll just log out from this ASM command line. I can do crctl stat resource hyphen t. So right now, if you observe here, I have this devdb, which is a rack database, rack instance one, rack instance two, running on node one and node two, which is up and running here. And now this is the new database what we're creating here, Vora dev.db, which is currently offline because which is now getting started. So it's gonna take some more time to create this database. XDB install, XDB initialize. You can go back to a GUI screen. So 39% is creating and starting database instance, which is in progress. You can see copying data file in progress, copying data file succeeded, creating and starting database in progress, and we'll wait for a few more minutes. And once that is done, once the database created and instance started, it's going to do this rack or cluster specific view, a GV dollar dynamic performance views all will be created, and database completion will be created, and the post configuration. All right, so now go back here. Now I'll go back to that trace file. This is the trace location DBCA, user one app, Oracle CFG tools, DBCA dev, and we have this trace file. We can tail hyphen F. So that's going to say now it is running a data patch. The database got created and which is up and running. Now it's running a data patch so that you're going to get the latest patch, whatever we applied on the binary level. All right, so let it run. So I'll go back to again my alert log. So user one app Oracle diag RDBMS dev instance one trace tail hyphen F alert log. So doing the resize operations on the data files. And parallel again, there are a lot of log switches. Still it is at 39%. It's going to take some more time. Let's wait and we'll see the post configuration steps. All right, so again, I'll go back to my command line meantime because it's going to take few more minutes. So what we can check here, again, let's go back to ASM command line, ASMCMD. Let's go to data, lsifnl. So I'll go inside this dev directory. And then this is my control file. Control file one will be here on the data dev control file. And then go back and then go to data file directories, lsifnl. And all these systems, sys, undo user, all the data files will be here under this data dev data files. And now online log files, go into that lsifnl. We have the online read log 1 and 2, group 1 and 2 will be under this dev data dev online log and the password file. We have this password file under this dev data dev password, and we have this temp file. We have this temp file. And again, similarly, if I go into interrupt data, if I go into plus reco ls-l, so we have this dev. Inside that, one more control file 2, online log file. We have one more online read log file, read log group 1 and read log group 2. So there are duplicate copies of read logs. Read log 1 is here, one under reco, and read log 1 is under data. And we have control file here, whatever we saw here. One is under data, control file 1, and other one is under reco, control file 2. The two control files and two read log files are basically multiplex copies of your control files and read log files. That's for, one copy is corrupted, you have another copy to recover that corrupted files. That's called multiplexing read log files, multiplexing control files. You can have two, three, four, or even one is more than enough to run your database. All right, so go back to GUI screen. Let's see what's the percentage. Okay, still it is 39%. Creation and starting database instance still going on. Let's go back here. Let's take a pause for a minute and see. Still a lot of operations are going on. Okay, now I'll go back, exit from here. And a note to if I check PSF in FGF Vismo, still a second node. Only on the node one, the database instance started. If I go back here on the node one, ps-f, psmon, you can see your dev instance one which is started on node one, but on the second node here, dev instance two is not started. Because of that reason, we are seeing that redo of group one and group two. These are the two redo log groups belong to my dev instance one. So once the database is RAC database is ready, you can see that redo log group three and four. Three and four is belong to your second node, RAC second node, the second instance, dev instance two. Go back again, tail the alert log, right? Not it. Your screen again still 39%. Okay, so we'll take a pause here for a minute. Let's see. Once the progress is done, we can again discuss more on this. All right, so still going on. Let's see. Let's go back here on the trace file. Let's see on the trace file what is happening. Again, it will take a lot of time. Still the data patch. So again, this data patch, if you observe where is the data patch location, where are the log files for the data patch? So we can go into the same thing, user one app, Oracle, CFG tools, SQL patch, and then I'll go with the latest one. So let's go with the SQL patch with the today date here. And let's go here, 29th. Okay, 2025 04 25 30th. Let's go here, LSF and LTR. So this is your SQL patch. If I do tail hyphen F, so it'll be lot of things. It'll be a lot of metadata, lot of object inside my database. Whatever the dev new database we're creating, all the lot of base tables, procedures, functions, triggers, synonyms, views, all will be getting created according to the latest patch what you applied on the Oracle binary level, Oracle home level. If you want to see PWD, or like I'll go to second node here. I'll go into CD U01 app, Oracle product 19C DB home 1. So on this DB home 1, let's say if I do .env and I'll set the environment to this dev just to get the Oracle environment variable for that Oracle home 1. So dev DB instance to Oracle base Oracle home. This particular Oracle home we applied with the patch 19.17 patch. If I do opatch ls patches, so this opatch ls patches will give you what is the latest patch applied. Right now you can see 19.17, the latest patch what we applied. It is of 2022 October patch, which is a old patch, but we recently applied it. So you can get that using this opatch ls inv, and I can say grep applied keyword when it is applied. So it is applied on April 25th. Today is April 30th, means almost a week back we applied this patch. So because of that reason, it is doing here a data patch. I think data patch is now completed. Now let's go back. Okay, this is my U01 app, Oracle, CFG tools, and DBCA and dev, and inside that let's do a now trace. So that will be almost done now. The data patch might have completed and it proceeded further. So if I go into my GUI screen, now it is at 52%. Your database got created and now it is doing some cluster view creation. Okay, that's also completed. Now it is 67%. And now it's final step, creation of completion of your database creation step. So we're almost at the end. Right, executing data patch again. You can see data patch again here. It's already done, so it's going to be quickly completed in a minute. Okay, then 71% is maybe it is at the end now. So creation of SP file. So we have this P file, local P file. Now it's going to create a SP file inside my ASM disk group. You can see inside this data disk group. And cleaning up of your AWR data before it'll RP, after it'll RP. So let's go back here now. My SP file. Let's see here on the second node, grep small and still not yet created. Like I'll go to ASM now, dot .env from the second node plus ASM2 CD plus ASM CMD, ASM CMD hyphen P, CD plus data, ls hyphen L, dev, and this is your parameter file. If I go inside that, it has created this SP file and your RAC database will be running from that. Right now it is completion of your creation database is still 71%. Right, it is almost done now. Right, you can see here now the database completed successfully. Database creation completed. Now I can quickly go back here, SU Oracle, and now I'll do PSFNF grep small on node 1, and I can see dev instance 1 here. Let's go to second node, exit from this ASM command line, PSFNF grep small, PSFNF grep small. We can see this dev instance too. Fair enough, like I can set the environment now, dev 1 from the node 1 or node 2, and Oracle home. Verify the environmental variable, grep dev 1, Oracle base, Oracle home, everything is set. You can use srvctl, status, database, -d dev. You can see dev instance 1, dev instance 2, running on node 1 and running on node 2. And now you can do srvctl config, and you can see your dev, DB nickname, DB name, your Oracle home, Oracle user, SP file, password file, start option, top option, primary database, your disk groups, data and reco, and your primary groups, and your instances, dev 1, dev 2, your configure nodes, Oracle Lab 1 and Oracle Lab 2, two node RAC database. All right, that's a quick demo on how you can create a RAC database using a DBCA tool, which is a straightforward and simplest option. And again, however, having said that, we have a lot of other options, manual method, silent method, using a SQL command line method, using a DBCA with silent options, and whichever option is feasible, you can do. But if you go with those manual options, you have to do a lot of manual configuration. So other thing here on the second node, if I do .env, so if I do a CRSCTL, that resource -t, your database will be got registered in the cluster as well. Dev, instance 1 and instance 2. running on node 1 and node 2. Both are in open status. All right. So with that, I can just quickly wrap it up for today. We'll connect on tomorrow. Thank you.